What if Allah was already sending you signs? But you don't see them yet. You make invocations. You hope for a blessed marriage. You finally want to recognize the person He has destined for you. But deep down, you ask yourself, is she close? What if this video was one of the reminders that Allah sends to you to tell you, get ready, that time is coming. It's no coincidence that you're watching this video today. There are concrete, real, powerful signs that many ignore or take lightly. But those who recognize them know that Allah is repositioned them for a marriage written all along. So stay tuned until the end, because what you're about to hear will perhaps change your perception of your current situation and confirm to you that your meeting is much closer than you think. 1. When Allah begins to close certain doors around you, there comes a time in life when everything you've been trying to hold together begins to fall apart, slowly, silently. Bonds that you thought were strong are loosening. Friendships that were part of your daily life become bland. Once rich discussions lose their meaning. You feel a void, a distance, a disconnect that you cannot explain rationally. And yet, you're not really suffering. There is this strange calm in your heart, as if you know, without really knowing, that something new is happening. It is not a void of solitude, but a liberated space. A place that is being created. This is where divine wisdom comes into play. When Allah wants to take you to a blessed marriage, He first starts by cleaning your environment. For what? Because some people you had around you weren't supposed to accompany you in this new season. They couldn't bear the weight of what you were going to receive. They weren't prepared to see the version you are becoming. So He closes the doors. Not out of punishment, but out of mercy. You are not abandoned. You are reoriented. He removes what is cluttering your heart to place there someone who has always been writing for you. Someone who corresponds to your evolution, your purification, your renewed energy. And if you feel this way right now, don't panic. It's not a fall. It's a climb. You don't lose. You gain clarity. This detachment is not a rejection of the world, but a divine selection. Allah removes external noise from you so that you can hear His direction more precisely. This is not a phase of confusion. It is a silent preparation. Because when the right person arrives, your heart must be free of all distractions, ready to welcome without confusion, to love with stability, to unite with awareness. So if you see these doors closing, if you feel this gentle and subtle withdrawal, know that you are not alone. You are in the spiritual calibration phase, and your marital destiny may be getting closer, faster than you think. 2. When your maturity level changes quickly, there comes a time when you feel a profound change inside you. This is not just a small development, but a real leap. It's as if your heart is freed from certain burdens, and your mind opens to a new reality. Things that seemed important to you before start to seem futile. You are no longer the same person. You notice that your priorities change, that your soul aligns with much more serious things. What you once accepted without question, you can no longer accept. You move away from superficial distractions and seek something deeper. You want a relationship based on solidity, faith, balance. And it's no coincidence. It is a divine process. Allah is preparing you, without you being fully aware of it, for the person He has destined for you. He adjusts your heart. He refines your reasoning. You become more thoughtful in your decisions, calmer in your reactions, more concerned with the consequences of your choices. You realize that you no longer want an ephemeral relationship, a love that burns intensely but quickly extinguishes. You want to build something lasting, solid, something based on faith and deep values. You have begun to understand that true love, the kind that is meant to last, is much more than physical or emotional attraction. It is a spiritual union, a symbiosis of two souls who flourish together under the will of Allah. This inner change is not the result of chance. Allah leaves nothing to chance. He elevates you, He broadens you, He shapes you to become compatible with what you are going to encounter. This change in your perception is actually a divine adjustment to align you with your future partner. You become what the other must encounter, long before you know them. It's like you're becoming the person you were meant to be for this relationship. You become the love, the stability, the partner that this person is looking for, even without knowing yet who they are. You see, Allah prepares both sides of marriage, allowing you to evolve internally even before the meeting. And it is in this spiritual and mental evolution that you begin to feel, without knowing it, that your destiny is being adjusted. Because before you meet the love of your life, Allah wants you to be ready. May your heart be purified, your mind mature, and you are able to offer and receive deep and lasting love. 3. When you feel a strong need to purify yourself internally, there comes a time when you feel compelled to make a profound change within yourself. It's not a simple desire, it's a visceral need to purify yourself, to get rid of everything that weighs you down. You find yourself praying more regularly, making more sincere du'as. You feel discomfort, almost unease when you think back to the sins you had neglected, the ones you accepted without really thinking about them. It's like you're seeing things from a different perspective, like you're waking up to a spiritual reality that you hadn't fully understood before. This desire for inner purification is not a coincidence. It is a divine step, a clear sign that Allah is preparing you for an important phase in your life. Before you meet the person He intended for you, you must first purify your heart. Allah knows that to be able to receive a soul that will complete you, you must be in a clean, clear and balanced spiritual state. This need for purification does not only concern your soul, but also your environment, your relationships, your habits. You want to eliminate anything that could take you away from your divine goal. Everything you do, every decision you make brings you closer to the goal of offering yourself to someone with purity of intention. This process is not only about your love, but also your preparation to take on the responsibility of marriage. Allah knows that in order for you to take on the challenges of a strong partnership, you must first be able to bear the spiritual and emotional responsibilities that come with it. You must be willing to give of yourself in an authentic and balanced way. This need for inner purification is not a simple personal desire. It is a spiritual adjustment, a divine preparation. Allah guides you to a state where you can not only love sincerely, but also endure the trials and challenges of a union that is built on faith and stability. You purify yourself to become capable of fully committing yourself with a healthy heart, a clear mind, and a strong faith. It is in this inner purification that you prepare yourself to receive the love and responsibilities of a solid marriage. It's not just a matter of getting rid of bad habits or sins. It is a deep preparation of the soul to welcome what Allah has planned for you. It is a purification that will allow you not only to love, but to support, build, and live with the person Allah has destined for you. 4. When you feel invisible pressure pushing you to correct certain mistakes, there are times when you feel an invisible, almost subtle pressure that pushes you to resolve what remains unresolved in your life. These are not just passing thoughts, but a deep, pressing need to fix what is broken. You find yourself feeling the urge to ask for forgiveness, to settle debts that had escaped you, or even to resume projects that you had left on hold. It's not just nostalgia, nor a passing impulse, it's something more powerful. It is a divine reminder. Allah gently but firmly pushes you to repair the flaws of your past. Every little task you put off becomes a heavy burden to bear. and Allah wants you to get rid of it before you take the next step in your life. This invisible pressure is there to encourage you to smooth out obstacles, to purge your heart of grudges or emotional debts that could interfere in your future. This need to correct, repair, and return to what has been neglected is an invitation to purification. You see, a healthy marriage often begins with a person who has closed the old files, who has tied up the loose ends in their life. A stable home cannot flourish on fragile foundations, full of unsaid words and regrets. Before receiving the divine love intended for you, you must first do an interior and exterior cleansing of your past. Allah wants you to present yourself to your future partner in peace, with a clear conscience, free from any unnecessary weight. This inner pressure guides you towards this liberation. Sometimes it's simply about asking forgiveness from those you've hurt, mending broken bonds, or making one last effort to finish what you started. Each gesture of reconciliation is a step towards the purification of your soul and your heart. This recovery process may seem painful to you, but it is actually divine preparation so that you can welcome your future marriage with clarity and emotional stability. Allah does not want you to carry the burdens of your past into your future relationship. He wants you to be ready to welcome a new stage in your life without the chains of past mistakes. And by doing this, you create space for love, peace, and harmony to flourish in your future home.
5. When things start to line up without a logical explanation, there comes a time when you realize that events seem to unfold perfectly and effortlessly, as if things were suddenly aligned without any intervention on your part. An unexpected opportunity presents itself. A proposal that surprises you arrives, or an old contact, whom you haven't seen for a long time, resurfaces in your life. These little coincidences seem to be signs, but not coincidences in the ordinary sense of the term. They are invisible movements which, in their essence, are the fruit of divine will. Allah is the one who controls events, the one who unites hearts and brings destinies closer together. When you are about to meet the person He has predestined for you, Allah begins to organize the context around you. You notice that opportunities arise without you having made any particular effort. A job comes up when you weren't expecting it, or an unexpected but significant meeting occurs. These events may seem fortuitous to you, but in reality, they are precisely orchestrated by Allah. The invisible connections between people, the coincidences that are never really coincidences, are signs of a subtle divine intervention. Allah adjusts the course of your life
without you immediately understanding the purpose of each event. Maybe a contact from years ago comes back to you just when you need it for an important project, or you hear about a place you never thought you'd go, but which will precisely connect you with the person you're supposed to meet. This process may seem strange, even confusing at times, but know that every detail, every situation has been ordained by Allah. He facilitates, He connects, He adjusts your journey to bring you closer to what is intended for you. You don't need to understand everything right away, because often Allah unfolds His plan in the invisible, and what seems to be a simple coincidence is actually just a divine movement that guides you, just as it guides souls destined to meet. This is a clear sign that Allah is preparing the way for you to meet your husband or wife. He removes obstacles, He arranges meetings, and He brings you the opportunities you need to enter this new stage of your life. This divine movement does not stop at simple events. He shapes circumstances so that you are in the right place at the right time to cross paths with the one He has placed on your path. 6. When you feel unusual emotional stability. There comes a moment when you notice that, unlike before, you no longer panic about your romantic future. The stress, the anxiety, this incessant search for love or a relationship seem to have disappeared. You are no longer in constant search of validation. You no longer have the desire to chase someone. You no longer get attached easily. And this inner tranquility sometimes surprises you. It's as if a weight has been lifted from your shoulders, and you feel more serene, more at peace with yourself. This inner calm is a strong sign. It is not due to simple resignation or loss of hope, but rather to divine strengthening of your heart. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, has ensured that you are now ready for a serious relationship, one that is not based on emotional dependence, but on a solid foundation of respect, understanding, and shared faith. This feeling of stability does not come from you alone, but from divine guidance. It shows you that you are now capable of managing a balanced relationship, without losing yourself in the other person or in excessive expectations. You are no longer in this desperate wait for a meeting or a love that would fill a void. On the contrary, you have understood that true love can only be born when you are complete and stable on your own. You are in conscious patience, a patience that comes from faith and trust in Allah. This form of patience is active. It is not marked by inaction, but by total trust in Allah. You know the right time will come, and you are ready to welcome it when it arrives, without rushing or being impatient. It is this emotional stability that is often a harbinger of the arrival of your destined person. Before the doors of this new chapter open, Allah prepare your heart for what is to come. He doesn't want you to be lacking or dependent on someone to feel complete, but on the contrary, to be in control of yourself. True emotional stability does not come from another human being, but from a strong relationship with Allah. This inner serenity, this tranquility that you feel, is the divine preparation for a marriage that will not only be harmonious, but also consistent with your faith. Allah will have prepared you, not for a fleeting relationship, but for a solid and divinely guided partnership. You no longer expect a love that completes you, but a love that will enrich your life with balance and faith. If by listening to this message, you recognize yourself in certain signs, then no longer doubt. Continue to purify yourself, to evolve, to build your relationship with Allah. Don't rush. Don't look in everyone's faces. The one Allah has reserved for you will arrive at the exact moment you are ready, not a second before. And if this video helped you see more clearly, share it with someone who is also waiting for a sign. Subscribe to this channel if you want other reminders like this, anchored in Islamic wisdom and the reality of your daily life. Because sometimes, just listening to a reminder can be the beginning of what you've been calling for. And Allah never makes you wait without wisdom. Maybe your time is near.